The state religion of Assyria centers in Ashur, nor was any deity ever so closely identified with an empire as he. When the Assyrian Empire fell, Ashur fell with it. Moreover, all the gods of Assyria may be said to have been combined within his person. In Babylonia, Merodach, death and slaughter, was a leader of hosts. In Assyria, Ashur personified these hosts. That is, the other Assyrian gods had become attributes of Ashur. And we can only understand the remaining Assyrian gods if we regard them as lesser Ashurs, so to speak, as broken lights of the great god of battle and conquest. Ash, meaning curse, wish, desire, wolf, and spider, and meaning wolf, which can be translated to the curse of the wolf, the curse of his wish and desire. Ashur originated in the city of his name, on the west bank of the Tigris, not far from the point where the lower Zab flows into the river. It was not, of course, until the rise of this city to political preeminence that its god figured as all-powerful. There are conflicting estimates as regards to his original nature. Originally, these demons dwelled within Pazuzu, the possessing spirit. Some authorities holding that he was lunar, others that it symbolized fire or water. Actually, it would be all of the above. The riverbank worship belonged to Humbaba, the precursor of Pazuzu, who is the precursor to Marduk, which opened the gate for Ashur. The facts, however, point to the conclusion that he was solar in character, or just a very jealous god. Marduk, Merodach, had chiefly been worshipped in Babylon. As other Babylonian territories became subject to that city, we do not find them placing the god of Babylon above their own. But it was different with Ashur. We find temples to him broadcast over Assyria. As Assyrian history advances, we see different cities alluded to as the chief center of his worship, and he resides now at Ashur, now at Kala, now at Nineveh, now at Kordashab. Wherever the kings of Assyria took up their local residence, there Ashur was adored. The lesser demons and their container are the gods of the nobility. All of these locations are being assimilated to that of Ashur, and there he was supposed to dwell. he was not symbolized by an idol or any man-like statue, which would serve to give the populace an idea of his physical likeness, but he was represented by a standard consisting of a pole surrounded by a disc enclosed with 2 wings. Above the disc was a figure of a warrior with a bent bow and arrow on string. That would represent Mul-Ban, the bow star from heaven, later used for bellomancy and rhabdomancy, divination by casting lots, shooting arrows, dice, cards, etc. The evolution of the worship of Bel. This well symbolized the military nature of the Assyrian nation, and of its tutelare, meaning protection deity. At the same time, indications are not wanting that this pole and its accompanying symbols are the remains of a totem standard. This would be the ancient stock, the site of punishment, and the symbol of Marduk, the symbol of bitter oppression, Marduk, Merodach, of death and slaughter, are the remains of a totem standard, upon which has been superimposed the anthropomorphic figure of lightning, or the tempest god. Anzu, his enemy, is the divine storm bird. Alternatively, that would be Pazuzu, or Humbaba, the earlier Merodach becoming the later Marduk. The pole is a favorite vehicle for carrying the totem symbols into battle, so there we have the divine message. And it looks here as if the Sun Hakpat had one time been regarded as a tribal totem. The cross symbol appears to be an unfinished statue. Or could it be Imdu-Gud, the variation of Anzu? Anzu, the divine storm bird, became Imdu-Gud to be defined, which is representative of a lightning or tempest god, who would be a mythic character frequently associated with the sun. The moon god is the protector over the sun during the night in the underworld, and by virtue of his possession of the lightning arrow and the storm god, is often accepted as a god of war. The etymology of the name of Ashur throws little light upon his character as a divinity. The city which took his name was, in all probability, originally called the City of the god Ashur, alternatively the Curse of Curses, cognate with the demon Ashdum, which means a curse within a curse. To call it by the name of the god alone would not be unnatural. Now this is where we get a problem, shall we say. Awans is Enki, Er. John Awans means graced by God, who Er is later equated with. The point that it is not his name. So any of you thinking Marduk is graced by God, a good god, well, think again. And that may be identical to Marduk and Anzu, or Er and Enlil. Ashur, cognate with John. I suppose these would be the revelations of John. Ashur. The name is derived from the root meaning to be gracious, and therefore means the gracious God, the good God. This grace is towards the Anunnaki, not people. Don't forget he is alternatively bitter oppression, death and slaughter. To be graced by God in heavenly ascension. But there are indications that an older form of the name had existed, and it has been asserted that the form Anshar has priority. With Kishar, a god Anshar was created as the second pair of deities to see the light, and according to one version, it is Anshar who dispatches Anu, Ea, and then finally Merodach to destroy the monster Tiawath. This Anshar then appears as possessed with authority among the gods, but we find no mention of him in ancient texts and inscriptions of Babylonia. This god is the god of nobility, worshipped in the shadow in retinue of religion. The version in which Anshar is alluded to may of course have been tampered with, and his inclusion in the creation myth may be regarded as a concession to Assyrian greatness. Indeed, in one creation tablet, we find Merodach displaced by Ashur as the framer of the earth.